Hey everyone, Eileen Rivera here with TWiT.tv and Before You Buy, and of course they gave me another Android device to try out, and this time I have a phone, and it is the Samsung Galaxy S Blaze 4G. What's different about this phone right off the bat is the fact that it's not ginormous like a lot of the Android phones that are coming out, like the Note, or the HTC One, or even some of the Galaxy S2 models. But let me break it down for you. I'll start with the display. It's 3.97 inch. And it's Super AMOLED at 800 by 480 pixels resolution. Now it is pentile matrix display, so every once in a while you'll notice, especially if you're reading, if you're looking at an app, if you go really close up to the whites on here, you'll see a little bit of pixelation, a little bit of squareness in here. You got to look up really close. That may or may not be a break for you. Might be for some others. And but I should say that video on here looks amazing. Whenever I watched any videos, I mean, look at the reds on here, just on the Netflix logo. Video on here was definitely gorgeous. Okay, now this phone has a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon 3 processor. Everything moves pretty speedy on here when I launch apps, if you switch from app to app, and when I launch the browser. I'm pretty impressed, quite honestly, and you can see I'm on 4G here. Pretty good. Now it's also running Android 2.3.6. That's Gingerbread, if for those of you who know. I'm going to go into the specs here and show you the settings. That's actually a little bit disappointing because I'd like to see Ice Cream Sandwich from here on out shipped on all phones that are released, and that's not what's happening here. The speed, what they're touting with 4G, it is their T-Mobile HSPA Plus network, which is pretty fast, not as fast as LTE, but I'll give it to them. It's faster than some other 3G networks out there. The phone itself has 4 gigs of internal memory and a micro SD card slot, and you can expand that up to 16, 32, and I've read some reports that even 64 gigs expandable as well. Has a 5 megapixel camera on the back with LED flash, also does 720p video recording capability. Camera functionality, pretty good, and also has a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera. Other things about this phone, it has Bluetooth capability, it has great GPS, and there's NFC, near-field communication. I guess I turned that off. What that means is that if another phone is NFC enabled, you can share items, music, you know, websites, or if you have Google Wallet, you'd be able to purchase items using your phone. Another item on here, Wi-Fi calling is available with this phone, which I think some people will enjoy immensely. Now, this phone itself, if you're already an Android user, might recognize this. It is Swipe. Basically, you could use the keyboard here and just kind of run your fingers around the keyboard to create words. Pretty cool app that is already included with this device. And you'll see Samsung TWiT is on this device. And you'll also notice when you open the device, this is the only folder that I have downloaded since I've been using this phone. Everything else comes with the phone. All of these widgets, all of these other apps. Now there's a few here that I might already want to download, like Netflix, but yeah, all of this is bloatware, tons of it, can't get away. Oh, actually, you could just delete them, but they still exist on your device unless you root. The phone itself is $120 with a 2-year contract, at least right now as we're recording this. I've seen it kind of go up and down in price lately, but it's a pretty decent price for this mid-range Android phone. Now to the pros and cons. Let's start with the pros. The size, I think, is actually pretty decent, especially for those of you out there like me who are looking for a more average size phone, not a ginormous one. The speed is definitely faster than many other phones out in the market, especially many other phones in the T-Mobile network. And the battery life was pretty darn good, I have to say. I'm very, very impressed. The cons, the display, that pentile display, Man, if you're trying to read a book on this, not so great. Gingerbread as the OS that it ships with, not Ice Cream Sandwich. I knock all phones down that don't have the latest operating system shipped on the device. And finally, bloatware. Now, you know what you're getting yourself into when you get a 2-year contract, but my God, T-Mobile really loaded all of the apps that they prefer and all the widgets they preferred on this to kind of bog down the phone. So because of all that, I say try. I'm Eileen Rivera with TWiT.tv and Before You Buy, and this was the Samsung Galaxy S Blaze 4G.